The former People's National Party's treasurer, Norman Washington Horne, has indicated to the People's National Party that he will be making a decision in regards to the Senate seat in due time. Norman Washington Horne is at the center of a saga over a vacant opposition Senate seat, and he has indicated that he will communicate his next step in the decision-making process in due time. The People's National Party issued a statement on Tuesday in which it informed that Horne gave the indication at a meeting with senior officials of the PNP on Monday. The meeting was held with opposition leader Mark Golding, along with PNP General Secretary Dr. Dayton Campbell and the chairman of the PNP, Philip Paulwell. According to the People's National Party, Mark Golding went on to impress on Norman Horne the urgency of the matter of the vacant Senate opposition seat, the significance of the orderly operation of the Senate, and further went on to remind him of the responsibilities of the leader of the opposition to the Senate and the Constitution of Jamaica. Golding also indicated to Horne the two options that were available to him. The first option was that Horne should make good on the public declaration which was made in October that he had no intentions to be sworn into the Senate and would have shortly sent in his letter of resignation to the Governor General to indicate this. Second option, which was provided by the opposition leader, is that Horne should indicate that he intends to take the oath of office and be sworn in as senator. The People's National Party has stated that if Horne chooses to be sworn in as a senator, he should provide documentation evidencing that he had renounced his United States citizenship prior to his appointment to the Senate in order to clarify his eligibility. Norman Horne indicated that he would communicate his decision in due course, and he further gave a commitment to speak again with Mark Golding on this matter by the end of this week. In the interim, the People's National Party have mentioned that the opposition leader and the shadow cabinet are moving forward in executing their respective duties. The decade-old turmoil, saga, and controversy continues for the People's National Party, and at this time it is escalating. And this escalation has affected the Jamaican Senate. As it stands, Norman Horne is still a senator, even though he was not sworn in by the Senate President. The challenge of the People's National Party is to convince Norman Horne to resign from his Senate nomination in an effort to allow Peter Bunting to take up his recommendation from Mark Golding to become the 8th Senate representative for the opposition. Over the last 10 years, the level of misconduct, mistrust, and issues surrounding PNP members tearing down each other, and the total foolishness that exists within the unit continues to grow, and it is undermining the political organization and taking it to a place of non-existence and irrelevance at this time. This current issue, where they're struggling to come to a decision with Norman Horne in relation to issuing a resignation from his Senate position to allow Peter Bunting to take up his nomination from Mark Golding, is evidence that they are unable to sit down and make a decision about important matters. Many persons refuse to believe that every single member of the PNP is guilty of the same kinds of misconduct and the continued damage that is being executed against the party. But it can be evidence that, without contradiction, it may seem that a large majority of them are to be blamed. Not everyone in the party is completely blameless in this regard. Therefore, the party needs to focus on the mission that they continue to speak about and act and ensure that unity returns to the political organization and that some semblance of order is also returned to the unit. In order for the country to consciously promote sustainable social and economic development, both political parties need to exist and work together as well. If they work together, then it will only be to the benefit of the people and to the benefit of Jamaica. If the PNP does not get their act together, of course, it will only signal to the Jamaican people that this political party is not ready for leadership. And of course, it means that the burden will be on the Jamaica Labour Party to do all that is required to ensure that the government is held accountable. And how can they hold themselves accountable in all truth? The People's National Party needs to get everything in place so that they can provide adequate representation in their post of opposition in an effort to hold the government accountable and to ensure that all that is brought across in Parliament is for the benefit of the people of Jamaica. They need to ensure that they are in a position to effectively operate and function in their role of opposition at this time. They have fully gone through the leadership transition process, and Mark Golding is at the helm. The members of the PNP got their wish. They managed to remove Dr. Peter Phillips from the post of president and that of opposition leader, and they paved the way for Mark Golding to be elected by a majority of the delegates as the sixth leader of the People's National Party. The future of the PNP, however, seems quite uncertain. Some are even wondering if this organization will eventually disintegrate and disappear into thin air. This is possible because if the internal infighting continues, they will crumble from within. Mark Golding has a difficult task ahead of him. And as president, he cannot do this by himself. He needs the support of every single member and supporter of the People's National Party. Whilst it is his duty and an opportunity has been provided to him to work with his leadership team to ensure that they set a foundation and set the necessary tone for getting cooperation and unity within the political organization by 2021 so that they can prepare themselves to adequately challenge for seats within the upcoming local government elections. The leader, whilst he is responsible for answering to his role of opposition leader, has been criticized by many in relation to his claim that he had all answers to the problems of Jamaica, especially that of crime. It should be noted that every single person should understand that it takes a team effort to produce any meaningful results, and each member of the team, each member of the People's National Party need to be captivated by what is required at the moment to ensure that the best interest of Jamaica is always placed at the forefront. Neither the PNP nor the Jamaica Labour Party can exist by itself. It is a unit that consists of people who work together to ensure that sustainable socio-economic and national development remains paramount to Jamaica and to the stakeholders who take on the challenge of ensuring same occurs for the betterment and the future of the Jamaican society. The People's National Party does not belong to any one person, and therefore it should not be treated as a private unit. Although Jamaica's constitution does not recognize political parties, the party conducts its internal affairs based on its own constitution. And, of course, the way that they handle themselves will spill over into the public and will affect their credibility when its members attempt to execute their constitutional roles. So the way that the PNP continues to carry out and make their decisions in relation to their internal matters will affect how Jamaica views the PNP's president and the opposition leader, Mark Golding. It will also affect how the 8 senators are viewed. Is it that they are seen as persons who are irresponsible and incapable to lead their respective roles and segments? And the persons who sit as Member of Parliament in the House of Representatives will also have a challenge, as even the very constituents will look down on them as persons who belong to a disorganized political party. And therefore, if they cannot organize themselves as a unit, no one will look at them as potential leaders of the country. Nor will someone look to Mark Golding with any respect when he attempts to challenge the current government in regards to matters that may be discussed or laws that may be proposed in the Senate or basically in the Parliament. Over the last 2 months, there have been many discussions, conversations, and speeches about healing, credibility, and rebuilding within this unit. Many have also spoken about ensuring that accountability returns to the PNP, and many have even went as far as to acknowledge that they have done their wrongs and they are seriously committed to improving their behavior and moving away from those dangerous habits. However, despite the recommendations, despite the documents that have been signed, despite the speeches that have been made, and despite the impact of the negative consequences of actions taken not just in 2019, but in 2006, 2008, and other years prior to 2020, the PNP is still not learning. They are not moving away from the fractiousness, the divisiveness, and the inability to keep their internal affairs private, and also the inability to sit together and come to a consensus about serious matters, such as this current vacant opposition Senate seat. Well, like, comment, share, and subscribe. What do you believe will become of this story? Do you believe that Norman Horne will relinquish and give in to Mark Golding's request and actually send in his resignation to the Governor General? Or will he choose to be sworn in as the 8th Senator of the opposition and further indicate that he has given up his U.S. citizenship in an effort to show that he is quite eligible for the post? Thanks for watching and be safe. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe.